Our story opens in a magnificent castle, hidden away deep in the rolling hills of France. Inside, golden chandeliers glimmer above grand marble floors. The air is filled with music, laughter, and pride. A handsome young prince throws lavish parties almost every night, surrounded by fine clothes, jewels, and admiration. But beneath all the luxury, there's nothing but vanity and arrogance. One cold winter's night, during yet another celebration, a sudden knock echoes through the hall. The doors swing open, and in steps an old beggar woman, shivering and soaked by the rain. She offers the prince a single red rose, a symbol of love, in exchange for shelter from the storm. But the prince only sneers. He mocks her appearance, turning away in disgust. The room falls silent as laughter fades and thunder rumbles outside. Then, the woman's voice deepens. She warns him, "Don't be deceived by appearances, beauty is found within." The prince scoffs again, and in that moment, she transforms. Before his eyes, the old beggar becomes a glowing enchantress. The guests scream in terror as the castle begins to shake. The enchantress, disappointed and heartbroken by his cruelty, curses him and everyone who serves him. The once beautiful prince turns into a monstrous beast, his fine clothes torn into rags, his reflection unrecognizable. His servants become living objects: a clock, a teapot, a candelabra, each still human at heart, but trapped in a magical form. The castle itself falls into eternal winter, hidden behind snow and thorns. Only one hope remains: the rose. If the beast can learn to love another, and earn their love in return, before the last petal falls, the curse will break. If not, he will remain a beast forever. The castle falls silent, and time begins to fade. Years pass. The world outside forgets the prince and his castle. And far away, in a cheerful little French village, we meet Belle, a young woman unlike anyone else around her. As the sun rises, the streets fill with chatter, bread baskets, and songs. While everyone goes about their routines, Belle walks through the crowd with a book in her hand. She's curious, imaginative, and full of dreams. The villagers call her odd because she loves to read, to think, and to dream of far-off places and grand adventures. She doesn't fit in, and she doesn't mind. Belle lives with her father, Maurice, a kind and gentle inventor. Their small cottage is filled with little mechanical gadgets, sketches, and the smell of wood and paint. Belle loves her father deeply. He's her best friend, her family, and the only one who truly understands her. But there's someone else in town who has his eyes set on her: Gaston. He's tall, muscular, and every woman in the village adores him. Every woman, except Belle. Gaston is confident to the point of arrogance. He's used to admiration, to getting what he wants. And he wants Belle not because he loves her, but because she's the only one who doesn't fall at his feet. He follows her through the market, boasting about his looks, his muscles, and his hunting trophies, while Belle just rolls her eyes. She's the most beautiful girl in town, Gaston says, and that makes her the best, and therefore mine. Even his sidekick, LeFou, can see that Belle's not interested. But Gaston doesn't take no for an answer. One day, Maurice packs up his cart to deliver an invention to the next town. Belle waves goodbye, but as night falls, a storm brews. Lost in the woods, Maurice's horse panics. Wolves appear, snarling, their eyes glowing in the dark. He races through the snow, the wolves chasing close behind, until he finds a towering gate hidden among the trees, the beast's castle. Desperate for safety, Maurice rushes inside. The doors open by themselves. Candles flicker to life. He hears whispers, movement, but sees no one. "Hello, is anyone there?" he calls out. The enchanted servants Lumiere, the talking candelabra, and Cogsworth, the clock, watch curiously from the shadows. They decide to help the poor man, offering him warmth and food. But before he leaves, Maurice spots a garden of glowing roses. Remembering Belle's love for flowers, he gently plucks one to bring home. And that's when the beast appears. Roaring in fury, the beast towers over him. How dare you steal from me? Maurice drops to his knees, begging for forgiveness. But the beast, blinded by anger and pain, drags him to the dungeon. The door slams shut. When Maurice's horse returns home without him, Belle knows something's wrong. She grabs her cloak, mounts the horse, and rides through the night, following the trail through the forest to the castle. Inside, she finds her father shivering in a cold cell. Then, from the shadows, the beast emerges, huge, terrifying, his voice deep and echoing. Belle pleads with him to release her father, but the beast refuses. So, with tears in her eyes, Belle makes a brave choice. She offers to take her father's place. The beast pauses. He agrees, and locks the deal. Belle's father is set free, and she becomes the castle's prisoner. But as the enchanted servants watch from afar, Lumiere whispers she could be the one. Maybe this brave girl is the key to breaking the spell. And that's where everything begins to change. The girl who longed for adventure has just found it, in a place she could never have imagined. Belle stands in the cold hallway of the beast's castle, terrified yet unbroken. She doesn't scream, doesn't run. There's a spark of courage in her that even the beast notices. The enchanted servants Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and little Chip watch her with hope. They've waited years for someone who might change the beast's heart. Lumiere, ever the optimist, whispers, if the master could learn to love her, and she to love him. Cogsworth cuts in with his usual worrying. Let's not be hasty. But everyone in the castle knows this girl is different. Belle is shown to her room, still confused and frightened. When she tries to escape, she discovers the grand corridors lined with portraits of the prince, reminders of the man the beast once was. She sees pain in his eyes, even in paint. That night, Mrs. Potts brings her tea, speaking kindly, comforting her with a motherly warmth. Chip, the little teacup, bounces up and down, curious about their new guest. For the first time in years, laughter echoes softly through the castle halls. But curiosity leads Belle into danger. She wanders into the Forbidden West Wing, the one place the beast has forbidden anyone to enter. Inside, the room is dark and broken, torn apart by rage and loneliness. In the center, floating beneath glass, is the enchanted rose, glowing red, its petals slowly falling. Belle reaches out, mesmerized, and then a roar. The beast storms in, his voice filled with fury and panic. What are you doing here? Belle steps back, terrified. You had no right to come here. He slashes the furniture in rage, his claws tearing through curtains and wood. Belle flees in fear, racing down the stairs, out of the castle, into the snowstorm beyond the gates. Wolves surround her in the forest, growling from every side. She swings a branch, trying to fight them off, but there are too many. Just as one lunges, the beast bursts through the trees. He fights them off with sheer strength, clawing and roaring until the last wolf runs away. But he collapses, wounded and bleeding. Belle hesitates. She could leave. She could run. But she doesn't. She lifts him up, half-conscious, and brings him back to the castle. In a quiet room, Belle cleans his wounds. He groans in pain, complaining like a stubborn child. You should have just left me there, he mutters. Belle looks at him and replies softly, then I would be just like you. For a moment, silence. Then, a flicker of something new passes between them, respect. Days pass. Belle starts to see beyond the beast's monstrous form. They share meals, awkward at first, but warmer each time. The beast begins to soften, trying to use utensils, trying to smile. He even surprises her with the castle's massive library. Thousands of books reaching up to the ceiling. Belle's eyes light up. It's everything she's ever dreamed of. The beast smiles for the first time in years. And slowly, the castle feels alive again. The servants dance and sing, preparing a magnificent dinner. And in one of the most iconic scenes, Lumiere bursts into song. Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Plates spin, candles twirl. And for the first time in forever, laughter fills the air. the magic of the castle and the spark between Belle and the Beast begins to grow. That night, as they sit by the fire, Belle asks about the curse. The Beast doesn't speak, but his eyes say everything. He's ashamed. He once had everything and lost it all because of his pride. Belle listens, her heart softening. She sees not a monster, but a soul trapped by regret. Back in the village, Gaston is furious. Belle's father, Maurice, returns alone, telling everyone about the Beast and the castle. But the villagers laugh at him, they think he's gone mad. Gaston, however, sees an opportunity. If he can make Maurice look insane, maybe he can force Belle to marry him. He hatches a plan with LeFou, planting seeds of doubt and manipulation. "We'll save Belle's father," he says with a sly grin. "And she have no choice but to thank me." In the castle, the bond between Belle and the Beast blossoms. They read together, share stories, and even play in the snow-covered gardens. One afternoon, she laughs as he awkwardly feeds birds from his huge, clawed hands. He laughs too, genuinely, and it's as if the ice inside his heart begins to melt. Then comes the night that changes everything. Lumiere and Mrs. Potts prepare a dinner like no other. The Beast, nervous, dresses in his royal suit once again. Belle descends the staircase in her iconic golden gown. He looks up, speechless. Together, they walk into the grand ballroom. Once silent and frozen in time, now glowing with magic. Mrs. Potts begins to sing softly, tale as old as time, true as it can be. As they dance beneath a shimmering chandelier, their world transforms. The curse that once bound them doesn't seem so powerful anymore. For the first time, they see each other, not as Beauty and Beast, but as two souls who finally understand what love means. But just as everything feels perfect, the Beast notices Belle looking out the window. She misses her father. Seeing her pain, he takes her to a magical mirror. "Show me your father," he says. In the glass, they see Maurice lost in the forest, sick, weak, and alone. Without hesitation, the Beast gives Belle the mirror and lets her go. "You're no longer my prisoner," he says softly. "You're free." Belle's eyes fill with tears. She thanks him and rides off into the night. As she disappears beyond the gates, the Beast watches from the balcony, his heart breaking, but finally selfless. He had learned to love. But was it too late to be loved in return? Belle races through the dark forest, clutching the magical mirror. Snow falls harder with each passing second as she finds her father collapsed near the woods. Weak and freezing, she wraps him in her cloak, whispering, "I'm here, Papa. I'm home." She brings him back to their cottage, tending to his fever. But when she tries to tell the villagers about the Beast, about his kindness, his heart, they only laugh, and Gaston smiles. Gaston steps forward, pretending to care. He calls Belle's story delusions, and accuses her of being bewitched by the creature. "He's a monster, Belle. He'll come for us all." The villagers murmur, fear spreading fast. Maurice tries to defend her, shouting that the Beast saved him, but Gaston uses that against them. See, they're both mad. The crowd hesitates, until Belle holds up the mirror. "He's not a monster," she says firmly. "He's kind." She raises the mirror for all to see, and the image of the Beast appears, huge, with horns and fur. The crowd gasps in horror. Gaston's smirk returns. "Look at that face. That's not kindness, that's danger." He turns their fear into fury. "If we don't kill the Beast, he'll kill your children in their beds." The villagers cheer, grabbing torches and weapons. Within minutes, Gaston leads an angry mob marching toward the castle. Their chants echo through the forest. "Kill the Beast! Kill the Beast!" Belle tries to stop them, but they lock her and her father in their wagon and drive off. At the castle, the enchanted servants prepare for the worst. They've been through years of hopeless waiting, and now, the final storm has come. Lumiere rallies everyone. "It's time to fight for our master." Cogsworth sighs. If it's a fight they want, it's a fight they'll get. As Gaston's mob breaks through the gates, chaos erupts. Teapots pour boiling water on intruders. Wardrobes swallow men whole. And books fly through the air like angry birds. For a moment, it's pure, magical madness. He's given up. The petals on the rose are almost gone, glowing faintly in the dim light. He looks out the window, whispering, "She's gone. I let her go." Gaston sneaks inside, rifle in hand. "Where is she now, beast?" he mocks. "Did she break your heart?" The beast doesn't even fight back at first. He's too broken, too tired. But when Gaston shoots him, the roar that follows shakes the castle. The beast lunges, smashing stone and railing as the two battle across the rooftops in the pouring rain. Belle, meanwhile, escapes the wagon with her father's help. She rides through the storm, desperate to reach the castle. Inside, the beast and Gaston fight like shadows on fire. Gaston shoots again and again, his rage echoing off the walls. But the beast, stronger and more determined now, grabs Gaston's weapon and holds him over the edge. For a moment, everything freezes. The beast looks down, sees fear in Gaston's eyes, and remembers his own. Let's take action and embrace inner peace. Achieving inner peace is a personal and unique journey. That love isn't about appearances, wealth, or perfection. It's about compassion, understanding, and seeing the beauty that lies within. A tale as old as time, and one that never grows old. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. Drop a comment about your favorite scene. And of course, subscribe to my Real Movie Breakdown channel for more stories just like this. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, real beauty always comes from within.